Let's get started by hooping up tearaway only for this project. And my favorite tearaway to use in all of the bags that all of the tearaway will be removed is Tear Easy by Sulky. It comes out very clean. There's no fuzzies. You'll see later in the video that it comes out almost in one sheet altogether. For lightweight projects like this that don't require any kind of dense stitching, it's a perfect tearaway for projects like the splash bag and all of the clean stitch bags. So here, step one, we're going to run the full placement for the bag, and I'm doing this in real time so you can see um, all of the stitching. We are using the size 5 zipper file this time, so make sure you are choosing the right zipper size for the bag that you purchased. All right, next you're going to place your zipper right side up, and I like to put the zipper pull at the top of the bag. So you can see here I'm adjusting it. You're going to tape your zipper into place, centering it up in between the zipper placement lines, and you can see a closer up photo of that in your PDF tutorial, but make sure you tape it well. I use medical tape. Sulky has reusable um, embroidery tape that looks similar that you can use. So you're going to go ahead and run, make sure your um, zipper pull is out of the way so your foot doesn't hit it. And then you're going to run the step 2 to tack it into place. And a pro tip on this one, if you have adjustable foot height, you might want to raise it slightly because the foot tends to drag on the large teeth of the nylon zippers, and your zipper can shift because of that. So just be mindful of that and pay attention. Sometimes people will ask why their zipper comes out crooked, and that is why. So the next step is placing our clear vinyl. I am using the By Annie clear vinyl. It comes on a roll, and you can see here it has a white backing, which actually is really nice, even though I'm struggling to get it off. It's not that difficult. Um, it keeps it very clean, and it also keeps it nice and crisp, so there's no wrinkles in your vinyl. I use a rotary cutter to get a clean edge on both sides, and then you're going to go ahead and line up the nice straight edge to your zipper. You want to shift it over just slightly so it's not rubbing on the um, teeth of the zipper. You can tape this into place. I prefer to hold the clear vinyl because it can shift very easily. And again, if you can raise your zipper foot, or excuse me, your embroidery foot, I would raise it just slightly so it doesn't drag on the zipper. So you're going to repeat this process on both sides of the zipper. Make sure when you're cutting it to cover the side placement pieces. So make sure you follow the cut chart for the clear vinyl. So you can see here, we're going to tack down the second side of the bag, and then we're going to move on to the sides. All right, so you're going to remove your hoop from the machine, and you're going to go ahead and tape the clear vinyl on the outer edges so that it stays in place. We do this because there's no tack down stitch on the edge of that vinyl because we're trying to limit how much stitching goes through the clear vinyl. So you can see here, there it is, it's in place. So the first side we're going to do is the right side. So you're going to place your liner fabric right side down, and you're going to have the excess of your fabric towards the inside of your hoop. And you want to line up your fabric just over the fabric placement line, because what this is a stitch and flip. So you're going to do both fabrics at the same time. So you need that excess fabric to flip over your placement lines for the sides of your bag. So make sure you tape that really well, then flip your hoop back over, and you're going to place the top fabric, so the one that you see, right side down. Make a nice little fabric sandwich, and you're going to make sure it's also covering the tack down line and the excess is facing towards the inside of your hoop. Then you're going to return your hoop to the machine, and you're going to go ahead and run the tack down line for both fabrics. So again, you can see here tacking it into place. It's also tacking into place your clear vinyl. So once you're done with that, you're going to remove your hoop, and go back to your workstation. So there you go. You see it's all nice tacked into place. So you'll want to remove the tape, and the liner can be a little shifty, so make sure that when you flip it, that you're using enough tape to keep it from wrinkling, and you want to make sure that it's like not going to get caught and drag on the the bed of your hoop. So I am using a very slippery waterproof fabric, and so I make sure it's very secure. And if you mess up, it's fine. You can just seam rip and do it again. Not a big deal. All right, so you're going to flip it over, remove the tape on the top, and you're going to want to go ahead and trim your clear vinyl now. So leave the similar seam allowance as your fabric. You don't want to cut it too close, but you also don't want to leave too much clear vinyl because it is so firm. You'll be able to feel it in the side of your bag. So make sure that you don't skip this step and go ahead and trim your clear vinyl. I'm using my Kai 5-inch scissors here. And then you're going to fold your fabric over, and you're going to also tape this one into place. Not as tricky as the the underneath fabric. So there you go. And then you're going to go ahead and return your project to your machine, and you're going to run the next step, which will tack the outer edge of the fabric all into place. And again, if you see any shifting or bubbling, you can always just stop it, or when you're done, go ahead and seam rip and then retape and try again. Okay, so the next step of the bag is going to be to repeat the process, but on the other side. So again, fabric is right side down for the liner facing the stabilizer. Make sure you tape it into place. You can see I'm making sure I cover the fabric tack down line with, and my seam allowance is about 1/4 of an inch or so, maybe a little less. Depends on how short I cut my fabric. But make sure again you tape everything securely. Go ahead and flip your hoop back over, and then place your top fabric right side down and line it up with the bottom one. That's the easiest way to do it. And then tape this into place. And then you're going to go ahead and return your hoop to the machine. You're going to repeat again the same step. You're going to tack down both fabrics together. Just pay attention that nothing's shifting. And then once you have everything tacked into place, we're going to repeat the process of flipping all of the fabric. All right, we're going to go ahead and continue flipping our fabrics over. The fabric that I'm using is called Dayflex, and it's from zippervalley.com, and it is similar to a waterproof canvas, or maybe a little bit heavier than pull fabric. It's definitely lighter than canvas, and it's smooth. So it's more slippery, which I do like. It's easy to work with, and they have some fun prints. I used a solid here, and then you're going to see the floral that I chose for the inside and the outside pieces. So it is, I guess it's repels water. You can wipe it. It's wrinkle resistant. So it's not water resistant, but it repels water. So that's makes it great for the makeup bags and the splash bags, because you're going to put things in there that you might need to, wipe down, like makeup and sunscreen and all of that good stuff. So check it out if you haven't seen this. And again, she has some fun prints and probably is going to add some more. All right, so everything is taped into place and smoothed out on the left side of the bag. And then we're going to go ahead and return our hoop. All right, once your hoop's on the machine, you're going to go ahead and run the next step, which is going to tack down again the outer edges of the left side of your bag. Next up, while this is stitching, is going to be the tab at the top. And I highly recommend using a thinner fabric or webbing or scrap piece of vinyl. So you're going to open your zipper before you do this, so you don't accidentally sew your zipper closed. You're going to go ahead and run the placement stitching for the tab. I like to tape the zipper together just so it doesn't shift. So run the placement stitch here. And then you're going to take your tab and place the loop of your tab towards the center of your bag. I made like a bias tape tab out of the Dayflex, and I'll tell you, I don't recommend that. It's way too thick, but I was already committed at this point. So just know that this was not a good choice for me. I should have used a thinner fabric and also, or maybe just again, a scrap piece of vinyl. So you're going to go ahead and tack that into place. Then you're going to take the back side of your bag. So whatever print's going to be on the back of your bag, and you're going to place it right side facing down. Again, this can be very slippery, so I like to hold this fabric into place just to make sure that it doesn't shift. You can tape it really well if you like. Whatever you prefer, obviously is fine. So you're going to tack the back of your bag all together. And you can see here, I have to stop and go over that tab because it's so large. Thankfully, my machine has a automatic foot height adjuster, but still, it was just way too much for this bag. So you're going to go ahead and go around and get your back all tacked into place. All right, once you have your back tacked into place, you're going to take your hoop and flip it over. And we're going to do the final step, which is the liner piece. This is the fabric you're going to see when you look down at your bag through the clear vinyl. So whatever print you want to see through your bag, this is it. So make sure you tape everything into place really well. Again, shifty fabric. If you're going to have any kind of movement or bubbling or anything, it's going to be on this step. So once you have everything taped into place, you're going to go ahead and flip your hoop back over. And then I like to make sure, you see me lift it up in a minute, just make sure everything looks okay from the underside. And then once everything looks fine, you're going to go ahead and run your final step, which we don't even show here for time, but your final step's going to tack your liner into place. So again, see, check, and then go ahead and run your final step. All right, so you're going to remove your project from the hoop, all the stabilizer. You can see here I'm marking the turn hole for you so you can see it a little bit better on this fabric. So mark your turn hole, and then you're going to trim around your bag. I get pretty close to that stitching. So you can see here I'm using Kai 8-inch serrated scissors. I do like those better for this type of fabric, and they make easy work of it. And you can see I'm going to go over that tab, which again is really thick, right with the zipper, and they had no problem going through it. So, all right, so trim everything off. And then you're going to go ahead and pull out your 2 liner pieces. And then you're going to trim off the other 2 pieces of fabric, which are just excess. So make sure you grabbed the 2 liner pieces, which are the top 2, and then trim off the bottom 2. Next, you're going to go ahead and flip your bag right side out. And if you have a heat gun or a hair dryer or some kind of warming item you can use, that will definitely help with the clear vinyl. I made this one in winter and it was very cold in my house, so it was a little hard for me to turn the clear vinyl. Not hard in that I'm not going to do it, but it definitely would have been easier had I warmed it up first. So just keep that in mind, especially if you have like dexterity issues, you definitely want to heat this up. All right, so then you're going to take a rounded turning tool. You can see here I'm pressing out all of the corners, and you don't want to be super aggressive just because of the clear vinyl, but push everything out so that it's nice. There you go. You can see I still need to go back. There you go. Hit that corner. And then next up, we're going to remove stabilizer. So now you're going to see why I like Tear Easy so much. So I start at the corner here and just get a hole started. And then I take my turning tool, or really any kind of tool, and I just run it along the edge of the bag. You can see how nice that comes off. There are a couple stitches you're going to have to clip, which are the zipper placement stitching. So right here, you'll see I'm clipping that stitch, and then you can just easily tear down the center all in one piece, which is amazing. Go to the other end and clip that side. And then we're going to go ahead and repeat the process on the other side of the bag. It's so satisfying to watch the turning tool just like glide right through the stabilizer. Again, no fuzzies whatsoever with this stabilizer. And then you're going to trim your stitch on this end and then trim it on the other end. And then I'm going to show you, I like to do this because it, again, satisfying. Looks like a postage stamp. And then you just peel it right off. All right, then we're going to remove the center um, stabilizer. And there is a stitch on this part too, which is the center of the zipper placement line. So you're going to trim there, get your stabilizer out, and then trim that side. And then I go through and I clean up any little pieces you're going to see. I'm just using my tweezers just to pull off some pieces that I didn't get the first time. And then we'll move on to the next step. All right, next we're going to close that turn hole. I use the peel and stick tape by Heat and Bond. You'll see this in other videos. So you press the tape on, and I use the fabric tack down line as a guide so it's nice and straight. You're going to go ahead and tuck in your fabric so they're closed. This tape is great. I've been using it for, I don't even know, years. The only struggle, and you'll see here, is that when I have acrylic nails, so it loves to get stuck to my nails. So I use tweezers to get this edge started. And the trick is to only go a little bit at a time. So pull off a little and then place your two fabrics together so that they seal, and then pull off another little chunk and repeat the process all down. You'll see it's very easy all down the bag. And then when you get towards the end, you just pull out that little edge and then close up your hole. And then once you're done, I like to rub my hands over and kind of heat it up, make sure that it's all nice and secure. And then lastly, the fun part, we're going to go ahead and turn the bag right side out. So go ahead and open your zipper, flip it right side out. And again, you want to be, gentle with your corners, but use your turning tool. And if you need to heat it up at all, this would be the time to do that. But this isn't as hard as the first turn. So I'm going to push out all of the corners, and then we are going to zip it up, and you have a nice new makeup bag.